and wife. Husband and wife lived in a village. They had children, a cow, a goat, hens, and a vegetable garden. Every day the husband worked in the field and the wife was at home. She cleaned the house, cooked lunch, milked the cow, fed the hens and the goat, looked after the children, did laundry. Every evening when the husband came home from work, he said to his wife, "I all day work, and you what do? You all day are at home and do nothing." Once in the morning the wife said to her husband, "You know what? You today do not work. You will be at home, and I will go to the field to work." The husband gladly agreed and stayed at home, and the wife went to work in the field. Late in the evening, the wife came home and sees the goat is eating cabbage. The hens are in the vegetable garden. The cow is hungry. The children cry. The stove is cold and lunch is not cooked. And the husband is not at home. The wife went to look for the husband, and the husband is standing near the well. He dropped the pail into the well. The pail is in the well. The husband cannot get it. The wife looked at the husband, sighed, and says, "Well, thank God that you are alive. Come tomorrow, one man needed money. What to do?" He decided to go to the devil and ask from him money. The man comes to the devil and says, "Hello, devil, give me money." "And how much money do you need?" asks the devil. 1,000 rubles. "So much? When you will return the money?" "Tomorrow." "Good," says the devil, and gave him 1,000 rubles. On the next day, the devil came to the man, but the man to him says, "Come tomorrow. I don't have money today." On the third day, the devil came again, and the man to him again says, "Come tomorrow. I don't have money today." In this way, the devil came several days. Once the man says to the devil, "What for you? Come here every day. I will hang on the gates a board and will write when you can come in order to receive the money." "Okay," answered the devil, and left. And the man wrote on the board, "Come tomorrow," and hung the board on the gate. The devil came one time, came the second time, came the third time. On the fourth day, the devil decided not to go to the man and did not go. On the fifth day, the devil came to the man and seized the board. "Come yesterday." "Ah, how I am so unlucky," said the devil. "And why did I not come yesterday?" The stubborn wife. Once upon a time there were a husband and a wife. The wife was a very stubborn woman. When her husband asked her about something, she always everything did the opposite. Once the husband and the wife were walking along the road and saw a cliff. The husband says to the wife, "Do you see the cliff? Go carefully, otherwise you will fall." The wife did not want to listen to the husband and came up to the edge of the cliff. Suddenly the earth under her feet subsided and the wife fell into the chasm. The husband stood for a while nearby the chasm, wept for a while, and went home. On the next day the husband was at home. Suddenly at midnight somebody knocked at the door. The husband opened the door and sees in front of him is standing the devil with horns and with a tail. The devil asks, "Is that your wife who yesterday fell into the chasm?" "Yes, mine." "And so what?" "We her found." "Take back her, please. We cannot live with her." The husband rejoiced that his wife was alive, but said, No, I, with her 10 years have lived. 10 years was suffering. I want to rest. I don't need her. Now your turn." The devil began to ask, "Please take back her. We cannot live with her. If you will take back her, we will give you a sack of gold." And you won't deceive me? No, no, do not worry. I will not deceive you, said the devil, and disappeared. The husband came out to the porch and sees there walks his wife to the house, and she is smiling. And in the morning the husband found a sack of gold behind the door. The devil did not deceive him. Cereal from an axe. Once a soldier walked through a village. He was very hungry. Here he saw a house. The soldier knocked at the door. The mistress of the house opened to him the door. The soldier greeted her and says, "Mistress, give me something to eat. I very am hungry." But the mistress was very thrifty. She had a lot of food at home, but she said, "I do not have food. I do not have anything. I myself have not eaten anything today. I myself am hungry. Make hot cereal." Cereal? I don't have grains for cereal. The soldier says, "And do you have a hammer in the house?" "Yes, I have a hammer." "It is good that you have a hammer. Give me the axe. I will cook cereal from the axe." "Cereal from the axe," thinks the mistress. What a miracle. I wonder how he will cook cereal from the axe. And she gave the axe to the soldier. The soldier took the axe. Then he poured water into a pan, put there the axe, and began it to cook. And after some time the soldier tasted the water and says, "Good cereal, but it is necessary to add a little grains. Bring grains." The mistress brought the grains. The soldier put the grains into the pan. Then he again tasted it and says, "Good cereal, but it is necessary to add a little salt and butter. Bring salt and butter." The mistress brought salt and butter. The soldier put the butter and the salt into the pan, then again tasted it and says, "The cereal is ready. Now, mistress, bring bread and a spoon. We will eat the cereal." They sat at the table and started to eat the cereal. The cereal was very tasty, and the mistress says, "I never thought that it is possible to cook such tasty cereal from an axe." But the soldier says nothing. He only is eating the cereal and is smiling. A crane and a heron. Crane and a heron lived in a swamp. The swamp was very big, and the crane and the heron lived far from each other. The crane lived alone, and the heron lived alone. To the crane was boring to live alone. He thought, "I need to marry the heron. The heron looks like me, at her long nose and long legs, and at me also long nose and long legs." Early in the morning, the crane went to the heron. He walked very long, 7 miles through the swamp. Finally, the crane came to the heron and says, "Heron, are you at home?" "Yes, I am at home," replies the heron. The crane says, "Heron, marry me. Let's live together. To me, boring to live alone, and you look like me." "No," the crane, "I don't want to marry you. You have very long legs, a very long nose, and you are poor." The crane got offended and went home. He left, and the heron began to think, "Boring to live alone. I should have married the crane." And the heron went to the crane. She walked very long, 7 miles through the swamp. Finally, the heron came to the crane and says, "Crane, are you at home?" "Yes, I am at home," answers the crane. The heron says, "Crane, I changed my mind. To me, it's all so boring to live alone. I agree. I will marry you." And the crane says, "No, heron, I not want to marry you. I changed my mind." The heron got offended, broke into tears, and went home. She left, but the crane is thinking, "It's bad that I not married the heron. It's boring to live alone. I will go to the heron and will say that I changed my mind and I want to marry her." and he again went to the heron. He came to the heron and says, "Hello, heron. I changed my mind. I decided to marry you. Marry me." The heron says, "No, crane, I not want to marry you." The crane left, but the heron again is thinking, why did I not marry the crane? So it is boring to live alone? And she went to the crane, but the crane does not want to marry her. He changed his mind. So they go to each other. They are still not married. Magic water. Once upon a time were a husband and a wife. When they were young, they lived very well, amicably, and never quarreled. But when they aged, they began to quarrel, and now quarreled every day. The old man says to the old woman one word, and she to him 2 words. He to her 2 words, and she to him 5 words. He to her 5 words, and she to him 10 words. But they not know whose fault it is. "It is your fault, old woman," says the old man. "No, it is your fault, old man. You started the quarrel." "It's not my fault. It's your fault. You have a long tongue." "Not mine, yours." "Yours, but not mine." And they again begin to quarrel. The old woman is thinking, what should I do? How for me to live with the old man? Why we all the time quarrel? And she decided to ask her neighbor to help her. The old woman went to the neighbor and told her that they all the time quarrel with the old man. The neighbor says to the old woman, "I can help you. I have magic water. When the old man will begin to shout, you take a little of water into your mouth, but not swallow it, but hold in your mouth until the old man stops to shout, and everything will be well." And the neighbor gave to the old woman water in a bottle. The old woman took the bottle with the water, thanked the neighbor, and went home. When she entered in the house, the old man was at home and right away started to shout, "Where did you go, old woman? What you did? It's time to have lunch, and you are not here." The old woman first wanted to answer him, but recalled the advice of the neighbor. She took into her mouth water from the bottle, but not swallowed it, but started to hold it in her mouth. The old man sees that the old woman does not answer him and is silent and does not answer him anything. He got surprised, stopped to shout, and became quiet. The old woman rejoiced and thinks, yes, the water is indeed magic. And she went to cook lunch. "What you there so long are doing?" again shouted the old man. "Where is lunch? I am hungry." The old woman wanted to answer him, but again recalled the advice of the neighbor and took in her mouth water. The old man sees that the old woman is silent and does not answer him anything. He got surprised, stopped to shout, and became quiet. And since those times they again began to live peacefully and not quarreled, because as soon as the old man begins to shout, the old woman takes into her mouth water and holds it there until the old man stops shouting. Lipunyushka, there lived an old man and an old woman. They lived very well, but they had no children. Once the old man left in the morning for the field to plow, and the wife stayed at home and began to bake pancakes. She baked many pancakes and says, "How bad that it us no children. If we had a son, he would take to the father the pancakes." Suddenly, somebody says behind her back, "Mom, I am here." The old woman, a little boy. She says, "Where from are you, boy, and how you to call?" And the little boy says, "I, Mom, am your son, and they call me Lipunyushka. Give me the pancakes. I will take them to the father in the field." The old woman rejoiced, but says, "You won't be able to take them. You are very little, and the pancakes are heavy." But the little boy says, "No worry, Mom. I am little but strong." The mother put the pancakes into a basket and gave it to her son. Lipunyushka took the basket and ran to the father to the field. He came running to the field and is shouting, "Father, I to you pancakes have brought." The old man saw the little boy, very much got surprised, and says, "Where from are you, boy, and how you to call?" "I, father, am your son, and they call me Lipunyushka. I will help you to plow." The old man rejoiced, but says, "You not will be able to plow. You are very little." But the little boy says, "No worry, father, I am little but strong." And he sat on the horse and began to plow and songs to sing. At this time past, the field was driving the landlord. He saw that the old man is sitting under the tree and is having lunch, and the horse alone is plowing. The landlord came out of the carriage, came up to the old man and says, "Old man, how is it your horse alone is plowing?" And the old man answers, "It is my son, sitting on the horse, is plowing." The landlord came up to the horse closer and saw Lipunyushka. The landlord got surprised and says to the old man, "Sell me the horse and your son." "No, I will not sell them. I have only one son." "Sell I to you will give 100 rubles." And Lipunyushka is whispering to his father, "Sell me, father. A from him will run." The old man agreed and sold the boy for 100 rubles. The landlord gave to the old man money, took the boy, wrapped him into a handkerchief, and put into the pocket. The landlord arrived home and says to his wife, "I have brought you a present." The wife says, "What present? Show." The landlord took out the handkerchief from the pocket, but there is nothing in the handkerchief. Lipunyushka already long ago ran away and returned home to his father and mother. They were very glad and began him to kiss and hug. Let's swap. Once upon a time there were an old man and an old woman. They had a horse, but they did not have a cart. Once the horse gave birth to a colt. The old woman says to the old man, "Old man, go to the market, sell there the horse and buy a cart. When the colt will grow up, at us will be a horse and a cart." The old man agreed and led the horse to the market. He is walking along the road and sees that there goes a man and is leading a cow. The man asks the old man, "Where to you are going?" "I am going to the market. I want to sell the horse and buy a cart." "Let's swap. I to you will give the cow, and you to me will give the horse." The old man agreed. He gave the man the horse, and the man gave him the cow. Is walking the old man along the road, is leading the cow to the market, and sees there goes a man, and is leading a sheep. The man asks the old man, "Where to you are going?" "I am going to the market." "Let's swap. I to you will give the sheep, and you to me will give the cow." The old man agreed. He gave the man the cow, and the man gave him the sheep. Is walking the old man further and sees is walking a man and is leading a pig. The man asks the old man, "Where to you are going?" "I am going to the market. Let's swap. I to you will give the pig, and you to me will give the sheep." The old man agreed. He gave the man the sheep, and the man gave him the pig. Is walking the old man further and sees there goes a man and is carrying a rooster. The man asks the old man, "Where to you are going?" "I am going to the market." "Sell me the rooster, you will pay." The old man agreed. He gave the man the rooster, and the man gave him money. Is walking the old man further and sees is walking a man. The man says to the old man, "Old man, you want I to you a wallet will sell." The old man looked at the wallet, a very beautiful wallet. He gave the man the money and took the wallet. Is walking the old man further and reached the river which he necessary was to cross. On the river he needed to cross worked a transporter. The transporter transported people on another shore on a boat. The old man did not have money, and he offered to the transporter the wallet. At this time at the river were standing people. They asked the old man, "You have a wallet, but have no money." The old man told them how he exchanged the horse for the cow for the sheep for the pig for the rooster, how he sold the rooster, and how he exchanged the money for the wallet. The people began to laugh at the old man, and they say, "How you now return home, your old woman will throw you out of the house." But the old man answers, "My old woman not will throw me out of the house. She'll say, 'Good that you yourself stayed alive.'" The people got surprised and decided to check if the old man was telling the truth. They decided to go to the old woman. They came to the old woman and they say, "We have brought you the wallet, it for you a present from your husband. And where he himself? He is standing at the shore of the river. And the horse with him? No, he exchanged the horse for the cow. It is good. Now we will have milk. But he does not have the cow now. And where is the cow? He exchanged the cow for the sheep. It is good. Now we will have wool. But he does not have the sheep now. And where is the sheep? He exchanged the sheep for the pig. It is good. Now we will have meat. But he does not have the pig now. And where is the pig? He exchanged the pig for the rooster. And where is the rooster? He sold it. And where the money? He paid the money for this wallet. The old woman was listening and then says, "Good that he himself stayed alive." 3 bears. One girl went to a wood. In the wood, she got lost. The girl began to look for the way home, but was able to find it. Suddenly, she saw a small house. The door to the house was opened. The girl entered in the house and sees in the house nobody. And in this house lived 3 bears. One bear was a father, Mikhail Ivanovich. He was very big and scary. The other was a she-bear, the wife of Mikhail Ivanovich. Her they called Nastasia Petrovna. She was smaller. The third was a little bear cub, their son. Him they called Mishutka. When the girl entered in the house, the bears were not at home. They were in the wood. In the house were 2 rooms. One room was a dining room, and the other room was a bedroom. The girl entered into the dining room. In the dining room was a table. On the table, the girl saw 3 plates. In the plates was cereal. The first plate was very big. It was the plate of Mikhail Ivanovich. The second plate was smaller. It was the plate of Nastasia Petrovna. And the third plate was the smallest. It was the plate of Mishutka. Near each plate was lying a spoon. Near the plate of Mikhail Ivanovich was lying the biggest spoon. Near the plate of Nastasia Petrovna also was lying a spoon, but smaller, and near the plate of Mishutka was lying the smallest spoon, The girl first took the biggest spoon and tasted the cereal from the plate of Mikhail Ivanovitch. Then she took the spoon of Nastasia Petrovna and tasted the cereal from her plate. Then she took the smallest spoon and tasted the cereal from the plate of Mishutka. The cereal in this plate was the tastiest. The girl wanted to sit down and seize at the table 3 chairs. One chair, the most big, was the chair of Mikhail Ivanovitch. The other chair, not very big, was the chair of Nastasia Petrovna, and the most small chair was the chair of Mishutka. First, the girl wanted to sit down on the most big chair, the chair of Mikhail Ivanovitch, but was able to sit down on it, and she fell down. Then she sat down on the chair of Nastasia Petrovna. But this chair was uncomfortable. Then she sat down on the most small chair. It was the chair of Mishutka. This chair was very comfortable. The girl took the plate of Mishutka and began to eat. She ate all cereal and began to rock on the chair. The chair broke down and the girl fell down. She got up to her feet and went to the bedroom. In the bedroom were standing 3 beds. One bed, the most big, was the bed of Mikhail Ivanovitch. The other bed, not very big and not very small, was the bed of Nastasia Petrovna. And the third bed, the most small, was the bed of Mishutka. First, the girl lied down in the most big bed at the bed of Mikhail Ivanovitch, but this bed was too wide. Then she lied down in the bed of Nastasia Petrovna, but this bed was too high. Finally, she lied down in the most little bed, the bed of Mishutka. This bed was the most comfortable, and the girl fell asleep. In the evening, the bears came home. They were very hungry and wanted to have lunch. Mikhail Ivanovitch, the most big bear, took his plate and loudly roared, "Who was eating from my plate?" His wife, Nastasia Petrovna, looked in her plate and loudly roared, "Who is eating from my plate?" And Mishutka, their son, saw his empty plate and broke into tears. "Who is eating from my plate and has eaten all cereal?" Mikhail Ivanovitch looked at the most big chair and loudly roared, "Who is sitting on my chair and moved it?" Nastasia Petrovna looked at her chair and loudly roared, "Who was sitting on my chair and moved it?" And Mishutka looked at his broken little chair and broke into tears. "Who was sitting on my chair and has broken it?" The bears came into the bedroom. Mikhail Ivanovitch looked at the most big bed and loudly roared, "Who was sleeping on my bed and has wrinkled it?" Nastasia Petrovna looked at her bed and loudly roared, "Who was sleeping on my bed and has wrinkled it?" And Mishutka looked at his small bed, saw the girl who there was sleeping and screamed, "Who is sleeping in my bed?" Mishutka wanted to bite the girl, but the girl opened her eyes, saw the bears, jumped out of the bed and ran toward the window. The window was opened and the girl jumped out through the window and ran away. Upon Pike's Will, in one village, lived an old man. He had 3 sons. 2 older sons were smart, but the 3rd younger son was a fool. Him they called Emilia. The older brothers every day worked, but Emilia did not like work, did not do anything, and all day was lying on a stove. The older brothers were married, but Emilia did not have a wife. Once the brothers left for the market, and their wives say to Emilia, "Emilia, take buckets, go to the river, and bring water." Emilia, them, answers, "I don't want to." "Emilia, please bring water. The older brothers will come in the evening and will bring to you presents." When Emilia heard that the brothers will bring him presents, he said, "Well, all right, I will go to the river and bring water." Emalia got dressed, took the buckets, and went to the river. Emalia came to the river. He took on water and looked into the water, and suddenly he saw a pike in the water. Emalia rejoiced and grabbed the pike. And the pike says to him, "Emalia, let me go." But Emalia is laughing. "No, no, I not let go of you. I will take you home. My sisters-in-law from you, the soup will be very tasty." And the pike says, "Emalia, Emalia, let go of me. I will do everything that you will want." "All right, I will let go of you. But you first show that you won't deceive me." The pike asks him, "What do you now want?" Emalia thought for a while, looked at the heavy buckets with water, and says, "I want that the buckets with water themselves went home." Then the pike to him says, "Remember my words. When you will want something, say, 'Upon Pike's will,' and everything will be as you want." Emalia says, "Upon Pike's will, go buckets home yourself." As soon as he this said, the buckets themselves went home. Emalia let go of the pike and also went home. The buckets entered in the house, and Emalia again lied down on the stove. After some time, the sisters-in-law to him say, "Emalia, go to the forest and bring firewood." Emalia them answers, "I don't want to." "Emalia, please bring firewood. The older brothers will come in the evening and will bring you presents." When Emalia heard that the brothers will bring him presents, he said, "Well, all right, I will go to the forest and will bring firewood." Emalia got dressed, took an axe, came out into the yard, and sat into the sled. He sat into the sled and says to his sisters-in-law, "Open the gates." But the sisters-in-law to him say, "But how, you fool, will go in the sled without a horse?" But Emalia answers, "I don't need a horse. My sled can drive without a horse," and himself whispers, "Upon Pike's will, go sled to the forest yourself." As soon as he this said, the sled quickly went to the forest. Emalia arrived to the forest and says, "Upon Pike's will, axe cut firewood." As soon as he this said, the axe began to cut firewood and put it into the sled. Then Emalia sat into the sled and said, "Upon Pike's will, go sled home." As soon as he this said, the sled quickly went home. Emalia came home and again lied down on the stove. Soon about these wonders found out the Tsar. He sent an officer to Emalia and ordered to bring Emalia to the palace. The officer arrives to the village and enters in the house in which lives Emalia, sees Emalia, and asks, "Are you Emalia the fool?" "Yes," says Emalia. "Get up, get dressed, and I'll take you to the Tsar." "I don't want to," says Emalia. The officer got angry and hit him with a stick, and Emalia is whispering, "Upon Pike's will, stick beat the officer." As soon as he this said, the stick jumped out of the hands of the officer, began to beat him. The officer got frightened and ran away. When the Tsar found out that the officer was not able to bring Emalia, he got surprised and sent to Emalia a general and ordered to bring Emalia to the palace. The general bought gingerbread and went to the village. He entered in the house in which lived Emalia and asked the sisters-in-law what likes Emalia. The sisters-in-law say, "Our Emalia likes presents." Then the general gave Amalia gingerbread and says, "Amalia, let's go to the Tsar." Amalia answers, "I do not want to." Then the general says, "You will have it good in the palace." But Amalia says, "I do not want to." Then the general says, "The Tsar to you will give a hat and boots." Amalia thought for a while and says, "All right, I will go to the palace. You go to the palace and I will come after you, general." The general left for the palace, and Amelia says, "Upon Pike's will stove, go to the palace." As soon as he this said, the stove went to the palace. The Tsar is looking into the window and sees the stove itself is walking along the street, and on the stove is lying Amelia. The Tsar asks the general, "Who is this?" And the general answers, "It is Amelia. He is driving to you on the stove." The Tsar came out to the porch and says, "Hello, Amelia. They say you can do wonders. Show me how you do wonders." But Amelia answers, "And I don't want to." But at this time in the window, at him was looking the Tsar's daughter, Maria the princess. When Amelia saw her, he whispered, "Upon Pike's will, Maria the princess fall in love with me." As soon as he this said, Maria the princess fell in love with Amelia. And Amelia says, "Upon Pike's will, stove go home." As soon as he this said, the stove went home. It entered in the house, and Amelia is lying on the stove and does not do anything. And Maria the princess at the Tsar's palace is crying, cannot live without Amelia, and wants to marry him. The Tsar again says to the general, "Go, general, bring Amelia to the palace." The general bought food and wine and went to Amelia. Amelia, rejoiced, sat down to the table and began to drink and eat. He so much was eating and so much was drinking that immediately fell asleep. And while he was sleeping, the general put him into the carriage and brought to the Tsar. When he brought Amelia to the Tsar ordered to put Amelia and the princess into a barrel, to close the barrel, and to throw the barrel into the sea. Amelia woke up in the barrel and says, "Where am I?" And somebody answers, "Amelia, the Tsar put us into the barrel and ordered to throw the barrel into the sea." "And who are you?" asks Amelia. "I am Maria the princess. I love you." Amelia says, "Upon Pike's will, barrels swim toward the shore." As soon as he this said, the barrel started swimming toward the shore. When the barrel had swum to the shore, Amelia and Maria, the princess, came out from the barrel, and Maria, the princess, says, "Amelia, and where we will live?" Amelia says, "Upon Pike's will, let on this place will be a stone palace with a golden roof." As soon as he this said, a stone palace with a golden roof appeared in front of them. Around the palace, beautiful garden. In the garden, beautiful flowers and birds are singing. Amelia and Maria, the princess, entered into the palace and sat down at the window. Maria, the princess, says, "Amelia, and can you become handsome?" Amelia says, "Upon Pike's will, I want to become very handsome." As soon as he this said, he became very handsome and tall. And at this time past was driving the Tsar, and sees the big stone palace with the golden roof. The Tsar says, "Who has built this palace? Who in it lives?" The servants of the Tsar went to the palace and are asking who lives in the palace. And Amelia answers them, "Ask the Tsar to come into the palace, I to him will say." The Tsar came into the palace. Amelia him leads towards the table and they begin to eat and drink. The Tsar is eating and is drinking, but does not recognize Amalia. He asks, Amalia, who are you? And you remember the fool Amalia who came to you on the stove. You ordered to put me and Maria, the princess, into a barrel and the barrel to throw out into the sea. The Tsar became frightened, started to beg forgiveness, and says, marry my daughter Amalia and take my kingdom. And that's what Amalia did. He married Maria, the princess, and himself became the Tsar.